Should the Chicago Bulls be concerned that Zach Lavine isn't going to resign? Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, Zach Lavine and AK both had their end of season pressers today. Zach Lavine made comments that have Bulls fans a little on edge right now, right? He essentially said he understands the relationship he has with AK and the last 5 years in the city. He hopes the city understands how much he cares about the Bulls, but he is going into everything open-minded. And so that statement right there, the open-minded part of it, has Bulls fans a little bit concerned. Now, we do know right now that Zach Lavine is going into the offseason, having some surgery, that there is going to be probably a little bit of a financial stipulation based off of that. He's not going to make an all-NBA team, so he's probably only going to be eligible for the max, not the super max in this situation. So you're probably talking about 210 to the 190 range for Zach Lavine, right? And the question is, one, should the Chicago Bulls bring Zach Lavine back? Which I think most of us feel yes, but two, will the Chicago Bulls bring Zach Lavine back? And three, does Zach Lavine want to be here? Question one for me, should the Chicago Bulls bring Zach Lavine back? 100%. I think that you don't go into this offseason thinking that you're going to have the continuity like AK talked about in his press conference. He said that most of these teams, right, have had 3 to 5 years of that continuity build up. They've had 3 to 5 years of being able to put this thing together. And so he wants that same thing for the Chicago Bulls, where that dynamic comes in and you're able to set the tone there. But on the flip side of that, right, will the Chicago Bulls bring him back? That's up to Zach Lavine. I think that there's no doubt in my mind that the Chicago Bulls will put money in front of him. I think that they'll put the 210. I think they'll probably start about the 190 range, and if it has to get to 210, they probably will offer him that as well, right? Because I think that this is about more than just Zach Lavine. This is about showing players around the NBA that you are loyal to the players that are on your team to a certain extent, right? It's still a business. We understand that part of it. But there is a certain extent of, hey, you gave your all to this city. This season, you played on 50% of a knee just to try and help this team get to the playoffs. And guess what? We're going to reward you for that. We're going to show you love for that. We're going to give back to you for that. We understand what you did for us, and so we're going to do to you. There is a certain level of loyalty that still remains on that side of it, right? But on the flip side of that, this is a business. So he might not end up getting the full 210 in that situation, saying, hey, listen, we understand that you were hurt, but you also have to have another knee surgery. We don't know where this is going to be by the end of this thing. And if you're not coming back as that same player, we still need a little bit of cap flexibility where we're going to be able to go out and pay players to come in here and essentially help build this team out, right? We're giving you a good chunk of the roster, but we still need to put a team around you. So I think that also plays into it. But I think that the Bulls, right, it's about not only just paying Zach Lavine now, but AK talked about there's a lot of players that want to come to Chicago and play on the Chicago Bulls now that he's in the building. And so because of that, guess what? I absolutely think you pay Zach Lavine, even if you end up trading him down the line, right? Players look at it and say, hey, he gave his all to that team, and that team in turn paid him what he was worth. I think that does play into it as well. Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Zach Lavine will re-sign with the Chicago Bulls this offseason? Do you think that Zach Lavine, that the Chicago Bulls should re-sign Zach Lavine? I'll be down there talking with you in the comments as well. And I think the final piece of this, right, is will Zach Lavine re-sign with the Bulls? Here's the thing. That's up to Zach. And the reason I say that is, right, nobody else can pay him as much as the Bulls can. The most another team could pay him is 180. Do you want to go somewhere else where you're not the clear-cut number? I mean, on this team, I think he's the face of the franchise, right? I understand DeMar took the step and being the number one on this team, but when I think of the Chicago Bulls, I think of Zach Lavine. When I think of the Chicago Bulls, I think of the last 5 years that have been surrounded around him, right? And when I think of the Chicago Bulls, honestly, I think of what we went through to get here, and Zach Lavine's the one piece that's a part of all of that. And so to me, like, do you want to be the face of the franchise? Do you want to be that go-to guy? Do you want to be that guy that, if you're 100%, is probably the number one on this team, right? DeMar takes that number one role more so because Zach Lavine playing on 50% of a leg most of the season. And so do you take that number one role and where you're the number one on this team, and now we're looking to you to be the leader on this team? Or do you want to go somewhere else and be the number two, the number three possibly, and be a piece, a part of something, a cog in the machine, right? I think that's something to be said, especially being the number one in Chicago. For me, I want Zach Lavine here. I feel like Zach Lavine's a good piece. I feel like when 100% healthy, Zach Lavine is a great piece on this team. I think that if you see him put up the numbers that he put up last season, before he was dealing with this much injury, right? We're talking about him in MVP conversation. If he's having the season he's having last year, this year, and if he's able to continue to improve like we've seen Zach do every season, I personally would love to see Zach here, but it's about Zach, right? The Bulls are going to offer him the money. AK has said that. AK says he wants Zach Lavine here. He wants to get the deal done. And even Zach Lavine, right? I think people are kind of overreading into his comments. I'm not going to lie to you, because to me, how Zach said it is, I understand the relationship I've had with AK and the last 5 years. I hope the city understands how much I care about the Bulls. I'm going into everything open-minded, but knowing how much I've enjoyed my time here. So not I'm going into everything open-minded, but I'm kind of, I think that it's time to, look around and maybe, but I mean, one, this is Zach's first free agency. And two, to me, he's going into things open-minded, saying, I'll listen to what y'all saying, but y'all gonna have to come to me with a heck of a deal for me to leave what I currently have here in Chicago, because I've had a ton of fun here this season and I like where we're going in this thing. So I read those comments a little bit differently. I wanna know how you guys take the comments. How do you guys feel? Do you think Zach Lavine is gonna be here heading into next year? Do you want Zach Lavine here heading into next year? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Hey, yo, Chicago! Y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.